Hi guys, I'm Christian Williams. I'm here at JVC Prime Fitness, and today I'm going to be showing you some great exercises to improve your chest. Now, for many years, I was always a big presser. I'd always be big and strong, lifting 180, 200 on the bench press, week in, week out. Incline pressing, 160, 170, but I never had the chest development to go along with it. I was confused, I was frustrated, I was putting all that work in, all that effort, but it was not getting me anywhere. And then I started thinking of new ways. How could I innovate my training, use my mind, not just my body? And some of the things I learned along my way to help take me from where I was to where I wanted to go, I'm going to be teaching you today. And it's going to be a little bit authentic, it's going to be a little bit off the box, but I'm going to be teaching you everything that I know to go help you. So come. So the first exercise we're going to be doing is going to be an isolation movement, which is going completely against everything you're probably being taught. Start with big compound movements, so you're strong and you can get a maximum out you lift. But the problem is with that is what tends to happen is we develop really good development on the outer pec. So if you look at yourself in a t-shirt, you might look nice and full and round, but you take that t-shirt off and you probably lack that inner pecs. So this first exercise, what we're going to be doing is prioritizing the area of weakness in most people, including yourself, and that's probably that inner lower pec. So we're going to start with a cable, and we're going to keep the cable at palm's length. So what I mean by that is when your elbow's bent, the cable's in line with your hands, okay? We're going to take the cables, and I've set the cables so they're quite light, okay? Because this is an isolation movement. We don't want to be going heavy for 1 rep maxes. We want to stress the muscle, okay? We're going to walk out, and we're going to go into a split stance. And then so when we do that, we're going to turn our palms in and keep our elbows tight with our shoulders back. Chest up, and then we're going to press forward into like a V shape. So if you look at the palms of my hands, they're like a V shape. Then we're going to come down, keeping the elbows in tight, and then squeezing up together. Coming down, keeping the elbows in tight, and then squeezing up together. Very effective, like I said, to target that inner lower part of the pec, but you have to ensure the elbows are coming in tight and keeping everything flowing. Like I said, you're not going to be doing 1 rep maxes here. This is all about activation, it's all about stimulation, it's all about connecting with them motor units to get fire in your pec before we move on to some of the bigger moves, okay? So for this exercise, you reverse cable chest press into your workout at the start, and then move on to the next one. Let's go. So the next exercise we're on is going to be a machine fly, and again, a little unorthodox, a little kind of holistic approach, going against everything you're probably taught. But as the saying goes, if you want to look a way you've never looked, you have to be willing to do some things you've never done. So the next exercise is another isolation movement, and we're going to be doing a machine fly. Now this machine fly is great because these can be adjusted positionally to fit your mechanical body. So what we're going to be doing is we keep everything neutral, okay? Meaning that the palms, the elbows are all in line with our mid chest, yeah? One thing is important whenever you're doing a fly is that you pull your shoulders back and keep your shoulder blades pinched together, and you lift the chest up, okay? You don't let the shoulders round forward because that's going to take the stress into the front delts. So keep the chest up, pull the palms together, squeeze, and come down slow. Keep the chest up, pull the palms together, squeeze, and down slow. And what you want to be making sure you're doing as you come together, you want to be keeping that chest lifted up, okay? And then down. Some people tend to bend the elbows, but that's going to take the stress from where you want it. And what you'll notice is as I come up, I'm always focusing on that isometric contraction. And come down slow. Again, like I mentioned, try not to round through and just push, because that's going to take the weight away from the target muscle and into others. And like I said, it's very important that you focus on lifting that chest up, keeping the shoulders back, and you focus on isometric contractions. And why do we do that? It's more important to do that on these movements so we build a very strong mind to muscle connection. So we really activate that target muscle. And it's actually more effective to stimulate hypertrophy. The isometric contraction and the eccentric, which is the lowering, are 60% more effective for hypertrophy. So make sure you're holding longer than you're lifting and you're lowering longer than you're holding. Okay, so that's exercise number 2. I would probably do 2 of these exercises, building the weight up, 12 to 15 repetitions, 3 to 4 sets, at least 2 working sets, meaning you're going close to fatigue, where you're really stressed on the last few reps before moving on to the next exercise, which is now going to be fun. Let's go. So now we move on to the bread and butter of the workout, the compound movements. And like I said, this is an exercise you probably would do first, which I used to do first, but that got me nowhere. All that got me was sore joints and sore tendons and not the chest development I needed. So when we do a compound movement, there are more muscles working. That's the difference between an isolation and a compound. So in a chest press, for example, we have our chest working, which is the target muscle. We have our shoulders working and our triceps working. So the muscle usually that's the weakest is going to fail. In most people's cases, it's the shoulders and triceps. The muscle that fails is the muscle that stresses and gets stimulated. We want to stress the pec. So now we've done 2 exercises to isolate that pec. We come into this movement and the chest is the weakest muscle. So it's not good for our ego, but it's good for our chest development, because now when we fail, it's because the target muscle is failing. So I'm going to demonstrate the movement and we're going to build the weight up, okay? Okay. Again, we're going to start light and gradually build the weight up. We're going to kick the weight back, chest up, shoulders back, and we're going to press, breathing out. Now what you don't want to be doing is keeping the stress over the shoulders. You want to be keeping the stress over the pecs. And all compound movements, we're going to come down nice and slow for a 3 to 4 second eccentric and power up. We come down nice and slow, 3 to 4 second eccentric and power up. As you can see, I'm working in a nice triangle. I'm coming deep at the bottom as I come out wide and then together at the top. But what I'm not doing is as I lift back up, I'm not locking the arms out. I'm keeping a slight bend in the chest and controlling that weight. I'm breathing out as I press, breathing in, nice and controlled as the weight comes down. Now obviously, I'm just doing a demonstration, so I'm not going to be going heavy. I'm just gradually going to be building the weight up, and I recommend you doing the same. What you do want to be doing is failing on at least 1 to 2 sets, because that's what's going to cause the adaptation and the stimulation. So this particular movement also, you are going to need a spot to do it. You are going to need a training partner, a trainer, or a coach standing behind you, just to ensure that if it does come crashing down, you've got that support, okay? So build the weight up, so you're gradually going heavier, set after set, working towards that max weight that's going to stress the muscle the most. Okay, the next exercise we're going to be doing is one of my favorite movements. It's going to be the incline barbell press. And again, we are doing it the 4th exercise in today's workout. So there's no ego lifting here. The fraction of weight is going to be, well, the weight is going to be a fraction to what we could lift because we're more fatigued. But like I said, and said many a times, that it's not about how much weight we lift, it's about how much weight we can get going into the target muscle, okay? So because we fatigue that area now, our motor unit activation is far stronger here. Our chest is more fatigued, so even if the weight is less, more weight is going to go where we want it to go. Okay, I'm going to start with quite a light weight for myself. Obviously the bar weighs 20 kilograms. And remember to use your clips. Now if it's your first time in the gym, like I said to you, the bar does weigh 20 kilograms. Don't make the mistake I first made many years ago when I went to the gym, and a friend of mine said to me, how much weight do you want to lift? And I said, I can do 30 kilograms. So we put 15 aside because I was doing 30 kilograms in the house. Little did I know the bar weighed 20, and he lifted it over and it come down and nearly broke my sternum and cracked my rib. Because it wasn't 30 kilograms, it was 50. So I got 20, 40, and the bar is 20, so 60 kilograms here. So one thing we want to do with the incline barbell is take the stress from the shoulders and from the clavicle. So what you want to be doing is making sure your hands are in line with your elbows, so the stress is not on the wrist. We can lift up and over, and what you want to be making sure you're doing is tucking the elbows slightly forward, okay? That's going to take the stress away from the shoulder. Tuck the elbows forward, slight bend in the elbows. We're going to come down, nice and controlled, breathing in, and press up. We're going to come down, nice and controlled, breathing in, and press up. Nice and controlled. So the chest or the weight is over the target muscle, which is my chest and not my shoulders. Okay, and again, like with a dumbbell press, is one of them exercises that you are going to need a spot, you are going to need somebody behind you, because the only way you're going to maximally stress the muscle is by going to failure. So that's right, failure is a good thing, and we need to be seeking failure. You need to look for it, so our body adapts and gets stronger. So if you fail on this movement, that means the bar will be on your chest, and you'll be stuck. So have somebody behind you, a trainer, a partner, just somebody in the gym. There's loads of people around. I mean, if you just went up to somebody and said, do you mind if you give me a spot for a few minutes? I'm sure they would. And then just return the favor. You know, if you need a spot, let me know and I'll come over and help you out. Okay, so incline barbell, and I would recommend you do it lower down in your workout, because most people want to improve that upper chest. The problem is they haven't got the lower and mid pec development to support it. So they focus all their intention on that area, but they need to develop the mass and work that area on the bottom. Okay, so that's an incline barbell press. We're going to move on to the final exercise in today's workout. That's 5 movements a day, and don't be fooled. If you apply yourself in even 3, you'll probably feel that's enough, okay? So the last exercise we're going to do is going to be working the lower pecs, increasing that hang on that pec development, which is so attractive from a distance. When you see some of the really strong pecs hanging down, I mean, it makes so much difference to your physique. So we're going to do a cable fly for this, which will be an incline. So we're going to take the cables, and this time we use the cables that are far apart. Not that it's needed, but this just gives us more of an outside in sweep to the pec development. We're going to start high, and again, we're going to use a moderate weight to control, but it's still stimulating and heavy enough. So chest is up, we get split stand, feet back, and we will pull together, tracking down hard. And if you think about what muscle that you see bodybuilders doing on stage, tracking down, you will be aiming for that look. So chest is up, squeeze it down, and we're keeping our arms back at the same time. What you may find you see a lot of people doing here is turning it into a press. They're doing this. It's not a press, it's a fly. So our arms are almost at length, like bend at the elbow, and we're coming around and squeezing hard, okay? Lifting that chest up, creating that traction at the bottom, improving that shape for the pec development, and that roundness, and that fullness, okay? Now if you notice, I'm not leaning forward, I'm not kind of leaning too far back. I position myself so I'm directly under the weights, and I'm slightly forward. They're going to control from the resistance, not only down, but also back, and that's going to allow for that lower mid pec to come involved, okay? So, like I said, we don't want to be going heavy on this movement. The weight wants to be moderate enough so we can get around 15 repetitions, but still we want to be aiming for that last working set where we go to fatigue and go to failure. I can show you one more time. Take over the cables, move yourself out, split stance, chest up, we're going to squeeze together, contract, and we're going to come up nice and controlled. We're going to squeeze together, we're going to contract, and we're going to come up nice and controlled, okay? If you're not feeling it in the target muscle, and really isolating again, the mechanics of something is not quite going wrong. So, put this in the end of your workout just to get that shape and that development, and use all the other exercises that I've pointed and given you tips on today. So there you have it, guys. 5 exercises to take you from where you are to where you want to be. use what you want. I'm just showing you what helped me. Like I said, I was a big presser, but I just didn't have that development. And once I let my ego go, once I started using my mind more than my body, I was able to bring that area up and become one of my strengths. So I'm teaching you the things I learned. Like I said, you can use this video if you want something a little bit more specific and designed around the gym you're training, your style, your commitment, even your condition, then get in touch. Let me design a program for you. Reach out to me personally and we make that relationship and we start that transformation. If you haven't done yet, hit the subscribe button, comment below, share your thoughts on this video, share your thoughts on any exercise that helped you so I can learn more and anyone who's watching this can learn more. On that note, have a good day, have a good afternoon, #BoMode.